Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Ellipse small pendant. This is the 188200. Very popular fixture. There's also other pendants like this. There's a 5-light that goes over a dining room table or an island, and that's pretty super too. That's under our dining pendant section, so check it out if you can. So let's get into the size of the fixture body itself, and that's going to be independent of the rods that it's hanging from. So you're looking at 6.3 inches high, and that's going to be the distance from the bottom of the glass to the top of that metal piece. 9 inches wide, and that's going to be a metal-to-metal measurement. And because that metal piece on top is larger than the glass, it's going to be 3.6 inches wide, so it's coming out about there. The glass by itself, which I have right here, and it's elliptical obviously, is 6 inches wide, 5.37 inches tall, and then it's about 3 inches wide, and that's an outside diameter. So why don't we hop into a few other things and talk more about overall height. Now you're going to be able to attain a range of heights, and that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture, which is going to be the glass, to the actual ceiling itself. Hubbardton Forge has a system of rods we'll get into in a second. It's going to give you an opportunity to have this as short as 8.6 inches or as long as 53.6. So you'll be able to use the rods and kind of use them in different combos to get them anywhere between those 2 points. If you need this to be longer than the long, so let's say you need it to be longer than 53.6, drop me a quick email. Say you're looking at the 188200 and give me a solid number. So if you're looking for 89 or 103 or something like that overall height, tell me that in the email. Reference the number 188200. I'm going to take your email, I'm going to send it through Hubbardton Forge's customs department, where it's going to come back most likely with a telescoping range, and they'll tell us what we can accommodate for you. Adds a little time and money, but we do customs every day, so don't be afraid to ask, okay? So why don't we hop in now? Well, one quick thing on this. So this starts off at 6.3 inches overall height, which qualifies this to be a semi-flush, and you'll notice this is also in our semi-flush area of our website. If I was going to do 3 of these over a kitchen island, I would probably have the bottom of the glass probably about anywhere from 33 to, let's say, 36 inches over the island. The one over the sink, most likely what would be behind me, like if this is the island and back of there is another counter with a sink and a window, I would probably have much higher. I don't want to have this right in my eye, like that. I want it to be like this. I want to be able to see under it, and what I want is a semi-flush. So I would probably use a different combination of the smaller rods to bring it down just a little bit from the ceiling, so it would still give a nice big spread of light. It would coordinate with the other pieces, but it kind of becomes a whole different fixture. So take advantage of the fact that you can do that when you're working with these pendants. Now let's talk about how Hubbardton does this, and there's a system of these interconnecting rods. So this is what you're going to get are 3 of the 12s, so that's the 12, right? Then you're going to get 3 of the 6s, and that's what this guy is right there. And then you get 3 of the, you're going to get 1 of the 3. So let's back up. 12 inches, you get 3 of those. 6 inches, you get 1 of those. And 3 inches, you get 1 of those. And you're going to use those in combinations to get you where you want to go. I want to show you the installations instructions for a second, because we're going to talk about how to put it together. And how we do that is we're going to look at, on our website, on the page for this, over on that side, there's going to be a link. It's going to say, click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. You're going to notice there's a lot of great information there. There's going to be a full parts list of everything that's going to come with this. There's going to be schematic drawings of the fixture itself, including the canopy, we'll talk about in a sec. And it's going to show you how you put a couple towels down. So get a couple fluffy bath towels, put them end to end on a counter or a table, and you're going to lay all the parts out. You're not going to put the glass in until this is actually installed up. So right now, put that aside. You're going to put the part with the socket at one end, and then you're just going to lay out the little pieces, these guys, in a row, and then it exits the canopy at the top. And you feed those wires through all these little parts, and then what you're going to do is just put them together. So just like this. And after you've done doing that, you're going to notice that this is a nice clean look. It looks almost seamless. So that's what you're going to do with that. Canopy up in the ceiling is going to be a 5.3 inch square, and that's our friend right here. It's going to go over your 4-inch junction box, and take advantage of the fact that on that install sheet, it's going to show you all the parts that are going to be going on this side too. It's going to be using what's called a universal mounting kit. So this gets, well, let me put some things down, hold on. It's going to use this in conjunction with this to get over this. So all these parts are very simple to put together. It just looks a little confusing in the beginning. If you guys need a slope ceiling adaptable fixture because you have a cathedral ceiling, this is already set up for that. So there's a little knuckle at the top that just bends, so it lets you do up to a 45 degrees already. You don't have to do anything special. So, okay, from there, why don't we move into what's pretty important. That's going to be what's inside of this and what you can use in this as far as bulbs go. It's going to be using a porcelain socket, and the porcelain socket is going to be, you're going to be holding the glass on with this, and this is a retaining ring. So the retaining ring goes like that. Now, you can't, well, most people, their hands are too big to get in this glass to put that on. So this is going to come with a retaining ring tool. It's a metal tool. It looks kind of like a tube with a little flared end to it, which accepts this. And it's going to just take the place of your hand after you have this already up and you're putting the glass on. And you're just going to go righty-tighty with this in that end of the tool over the socket, pushing the glass onto the fixture itself. Don't over-tighten it, and then save the tool because someday you may need it if you take this down and move or something like that. Now, what's inside of this, like I said, is this porcelain medium base socket, which is that easy, bigger fixture that we used before in our lives, this bigger screw-in. The recommended bulb for this is called an A15. So the difference between an A15 and a larger A19 is this. So, oops, sorry about that, I almost lost it. So A15, A19. A15, these are the bulbs that commonly go in things like ceiling fans in your kitchen. They'll go into garage door openers, sometimes refrigerators, and it's just a slightly smaller bulb. These max out at 60 watts for incandescent, and you can get them in a white, you can get them in clear, you can get them in LED, that's what this is, you can get them in incandescent, but the max for this is going to be, for incandescent is going to be, because of the heat generated by that, 60 watts, so remember that. So A15, A19. Now, however, let's go beyond that. So Hubbardton says this should only take an A15, but I actually use a larger bulb in our showroom. So we actually do use this A19 here. And the real difference is I have an Arc 5 light right above me. And this Arc 5 light uses exactly the same glass. And I actually have different bulbs in a couple of them because I want to show people the difference between how they look. So with an A19, I've gone to Walmart and bought, I think it's actually this bulb, or maybe slightly like it. It's a GE 150 watt equivalent LED, and I think it's only 7 watts or something like that. And it's dimmable, and the color is great. You can use this in those. So the only caveat to that is when I was showing people in our showroom that the bulb, this guy, was way up here, okay? So it was kind of way up inside the fixture itself. This bulb, when I put it in, was pretty close to the bottom, so it was closer to down here. Did anyone say anything? No. People looked up at it and didn't even notice that the larger bulb was kind of getting close to the bottom of it. And by that token, I actually wasn't using a clear bulb, I was using one of these. So it just kind of matched the glass anyway, and nobody said a word. So you can use a A19 bulb, and those A19 bulbs, like I said, go up to 150 watt equivalent, and there's no restriction on that once you go into LED, so don't worry about it. You can get a ton of light out of this if that's what you guys are concerned about. So there, okay. Moving on from there, why don't we talk about really quick the color of light that comes out of LEDs. I touch on it all the time. The color of light on LEDs is going to go in a spectrum, so it's called the Kelvin scale. 2700 Kelvin is a super yellow light. That's like a setting sun or a incandescent bulb you dim down. Way on the other side of that is going to be called daylight. So daylight LED light bulbs are super blue and white. A lot of people don't like them because they kind of wash things out. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 Kelvin. So daylight sounds like a warm light, but it's kind of like a hospital waiting room light. That's what that really is. The one in the middle of that we use all the time in our showroom is called warm white. And warm white is 3,000 Kelvin. This is warm white 3,000 Kelvin coming out of this Ellipse 5 light with these bulbs in it, which I got from, I think this is actually Home Depot. But I could have picked them up anywhere. I could have got them even at my local hardware store. I could get them at CVS, or my grocery store sells those. So it's really up to you what you guys get. But my take on it would be, if you want to get the max light out of this, I would probably wander into the A19 size, even though Hubbardton says you can only do an A15, which is the little guy. Just remember, this is just about LEDs right now. And then I would probably go for a 3,000 Kelvin dimmable let's say 100 watt equivalent, maybe 150 watt equivalent. 100 watt equivalent is going to give you probably more light than you need if you have a series of these in a line anyway. So I want to touch on Hubbardton Forge's glass for just a second. Hubbardton Forge's opal glass is not just another piece of white glass. This is actually hand-blown glass. All of their glass is hand-blown. And to begin with, it's actually a clear piece of glass to start with. And they come in, they blow a second layer on the inside of white glass. Then they come back and they do a third step where they sandblast the entire outside. So you'll notice when you get these in your hands, they actually have layers of glass on them on the end. You can see them on these two pieces. And it gives it this really soft, semi-transparent, kind of milky quality. It's a soft glowing piece. Really, really pretty. You know, they're really obsessed about details at Hubbardton Forge, and a lot of people don't. I don't think they appreciate it out in the world, but you appreciate it because that's why you guys are here watching this video. There you go. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you're on our website, HandmadeInVermont.com, do me a favor, look over on the left-hand side of the screen. You're going to see a lot of red tabs over there. One is going to be the Finishes Help Guide. When you're done with this video, go over there and open that up for me, and you're going to see a video at the top of that page of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a color chart just below the video, so scroll down a little bit, you'll see that chart. You'll notice there are pictures that have the letter A on them, pictures that have the letter B on them, and I'm going to be talking about that range you can see in variance on there in that video. So it's really important to watch the video, use that chart. When you're done with all that, come back down to that chart. You can click on any of those pictures and see a lot more samples of Hubbardton Forge fixtures in that finish. If you want to see a bunch of stuff in dark smoke, click on dark smoke. If you want to see a bunch of stuff in vintage platinum, do the same, and so on and so on and so on. That's a great way for you to see a lot of Hubbardton Forge stuff in different finishes and really take advantage of that, okay? So our showroom in Vermont has over 350 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We have a What's On display page on our website. It's going to be back in the red tabs over there. A lot of good things in that section. Check out. So when you open that up, you'll see it's all divided up into different sections like dining pendants and outdoor lighting. We're always adding to that. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. They don't even have a showroom like this. Nobody does. And they use this as their showroom when you guys come to Vermont to visit us. So lots and lots to see here. You can see all the different glass, all the different finishes, all the different fabrics, all of those things. In addition to that, we have a clearance center. So the clearance center stuff are returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. That's an amazing deal for you. If you guys want to take advantage of that, you have to come here to Vermont to see us. And when you do me a favor, measure all the kind of things about your project and what you guys are doing. So the most important thing is measure your ceiling heights to begin with. Measure distances between junction boxes and like windows and ceilings and those kind of things. So if you're looking at sconces on the wall, you can see if they're going to fit for you. If you're doing pendants over a kitchen island, measure the distances between those junction boxes. Widths of tables, kitchen tables, dining tables, lengths of tables, islands, all that good stuff. And also do a couple more things. If you guys have some tablets or iPads lying around, take pictures of all these things. Take pictures of the kitchen, take pictures of the projects you're doing. Bring that in so we can kind of go through those pictures together and we'll be able to see what you guys are up to, okay? And also the boxes and clearance stuff, are basically packed for shipping. Don't forget, these were supposedly shipped out. So the boxes tend to be on the bigger side, so bring a decent size SUV if you want to take stuff home. It's a really good opportunity for you. When you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. We're the only dealer that offers 90-day returns and no restocking fees. That's 3 months after you receive something to send it back, and there's no restocking fee on that. Some larger items and custom things, and it's usually going to be big things on pallets, are going to be non-returnable. It'll always tell you on the page for an item if that is the case, so always keep an eye out for that. And we also offer a rush program. So to get all these different metal finishes, Hubbardton Forge doesn't stock. They generally take about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. We can cut that time in half, and it's really, really inexpensive. If you want to know more about that, just drop me a quick email and I can clue you in on details, okay? So our showroom in Vermont is open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to drop a quick email, you can do that all the time. And that's going to be at sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. Or you can call me during business hours, 802-446-2400. So thank you for stopping in today, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.